What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mini Trades back with another value pack video, and in this video I'm going to be going over how to catch the most parabolic movers into open, how to avoid the wrong stocks and all-day faders, and also my entry on the biggest runner today on BPTH. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So BPTH had a massive move today into open from 503 all the way to $7.50. Now most traders do not catch these moves, right? They want to trade the breakouts and it worked this time, but most of the times when you're trading a breakout like right here, you're going to get wicked out, get used as liquidity and make that move down, right? So you want to avoid buying breakouts. Now you guys can see today, 4 minutes into open, I took this trade on BPTH with my team on live trading as well. And I guided through the whole time. So you guys can see 4 minutes into open. So I took this trade right here on this recovery of 503. So let's see why I got this level and how I chose this one. So you guys can see on the 5-minute chart that we have a nice base. Now one thing that I'm going to do is compare TRX. Okay, if we go to the 5-minute on this chart, one thing that you guys will notice is the market structure difference, right? So look at the market structure difference between BPTH and TRX. One thing to note is that TRX was a runner in after hours the day before, while BPTH was a pre-market runner only that started today. So that's the first thing that we want to notice before just rushing into TRX. The second thing you want to notice is that we break a structure right here. We break this downtrend on TRX and make that massive move up. So this tells us in pre-market that after breaking this downtrend and holding this uptrend level, right, after holding this uptrend, we've already made the massive move that we're going to make. We're rejecting into open resistance, right? We're rejecting into clean resistance as we get closer to open after we've had a breakout, okay? And also, let's look a little bit deeper into market structure. So we reject right here and we break over this level. So we grab liquidity and pull back, right? So this tells us that we just broke this structure. So after we break structure, we're going to look for pullbacks near previous highs and look for entries off that. And that's exactly what happened. You guys can see that we're breaking structure so many times. We break structure here, we break structure here, we break structure here, and then we break structure here and start to reject highs. Before we break structure over here, we don't consolidate that long. We don't consolidate for long enough to have a very powerful move. So this is a very small move. It's still a very good move from 140 to 180, but into open, that's what our focus is. This is a great trade, but into open, we want to see which trades will run. So shorts are grabbing liquidity, shorts are grabbing liquidity, and shorts are grabbing liquidity into this massive wick, okay? So you have to remember that old resistance is, especially on a massive wick like this, like supply and demand, like we talked about in the previous video, it's always going to play into these stocks. So you guys can see after we rejected this, we had a massive drawdown move. One thing to also note is volume rotation. So because the biggest mover in pre-market is now coming down, we're looking for a move on BPTH or just volume rotation into another play. Now, why did I take this play and how did I know that this would be the parabolic mover? Well, let's look at this. You guys can see that we didn't, over here, we kept breaking over highs. We kept breaking over highs. We kept breaking over highs. Over here, we never consolidated, right? It was way too fast. We rejected so fast and we had no time to consolidate. What you want to see in a stock is slow dip buys and hold previous highs. So we would want to hold 156 level into open and then take that dip. But this broke below key levels. This broke and rejected key levels and then made that dump. I hope that makes clear sense and understanding. Right, so let's go to BPTH. Now, why did I choose this one? So you guys can see this was a pre-market runner, right? Now, okay, we have a structure right here. We have a high right here. We don't break that high. We tap it, okay? We tap it. That means we don't grab liquidity over. That is key right there. Not making a new high means there's not any fresh shorts and fresh liquidity that came into the market. So after we grab and accumulate all the liquidity to the downside, we're going to target this next level to break liquidity. Does that make sense? That's how liquidity works. That's where all the orders are sitting. All right, so if they couldn't grab all the orders here, that means they're going to grab them here so they can, make sure they can move the market to the upside to grab the leftover orders up here, right? So you guys can see once again into open, we are consolidating nicely, and we have not broken this high, right? So we haven't broken structure. We still have the structure to be left over. And you guys can see on the 5-minute, there isn't a nasty rejection like we had on TRX. This had a massive wick and then a pullback. This one had a massive wick and a pullback as well. But if you compare the candles, there's a lot more room on BPTH. There's a lot more room from 350 all the way to 630. So even a dip back down here is simply coming back to previous highs, right? So the room on the stock makes a big difference. All right, so into open, how did I get this level? So we go to the daily chart, okay? We're going to go to the daily chart, and we're going to look for areas like I talked in the supply and demand video where there's massive supply and then when there's massive demand. So key levels, right? We're going to look for massive. We're going to look for massive supply. So you guys can see right here is the single candle that made the massive move down, okay? Right here is a single candle that brought this whole stock down. So next time we break over 457 or this 457 level, this is what we want to see. A breakout, retest, and then breakout, okay? So that's exactly what happened at 457, right? That's exactly what happened. So supply and demand worked perfectly here. You guys can see on 457, we broke out. We pulled back into 457, which was our key level from the daily, right? That was the big supply zone. So now, once we break over previous supply zone, we are now looking to flip into resistance, or flip into support, which is new demand zone, okay? So previous supply, which was rejection, now we break over it, right? We grab all the leftover liquidity at the old supply, and now the retest into it is going to be fresh buyers, so new demand. Does that make sense? Should be very clear. All right, so that's exactly what happened on 457. Now we go to the daily and look at where this 506 level came from. Okay, so we're going to go to the daily and look for another area where we have a massive demand or massive supply zone, right? So you guys can see once again at this red candle or this black candle in this scenario is the candle that made the massive move down once again, right? So this is the same candle that I used. Now, one thing to note, along with this 506 candle that made the demand zone down, you guys can see there is also a demand zone here. So this was supply, and this is demand. Okay, so there's old supply, old demand. Now so what we want to see is a break over 506 and pull back into it. Now, what's happening here? What's happening here is that we have old demand and old supply, okay? This old supply, after we break out, is going to flip into demand again. So we've already seen that we've held 457. So we already have a basic supply and demand flip along with previous demand. So that's double confluence right there. That means we have old supply flipping into demand. Also, we have old demand staying demand. That makes sense? So this is why 506 was a massive level into open and exactly why I took that trade with my team. I hope that's loud and clear. We scaled off on the way up into highs, into this 560s, and into high of days. So that was the perfect trade. I gave the full guidance. If you guys want to trade with me, there's a 7-day free trial going on right now. First link in the description. Make sure you guys subscribe and drop a like for more educational content like this. I will continue to make trading easy and simple for every single person who's watching these videos. Make sure you guys also turn on the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.